724 heavy traffic 3 miles. At the approach end, cross runway 8 left, give way to 171 to 85 heavy town with 1708, runway 8 left for land. That was 4690, exit taxiway Bravo 11, taxi Victor Luke.
Bravo 11, Victor Luke, guys, 4690.
Kind of departure today.
503, Victor.
Delta 766, Dorado International, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
8 right, clear for takeoff on Airline, Delta 766.
Delta 1682, Atlanta Town, runway 8 right, line up away.
Delta 1682, line up and wait, runway right, 8 right. Delta 1705, burning for
Delta 1705, line of tower, 1807, coming on the right, clear to land.
clear to land, right, Delta 1705.
7 on the widest, coming on with the Mike 2 clear for takeoff.
The widest, left Mike 2 clear for
So 1198, 107, on with Mike 2 line up and wait. So delay for infield facing traffic will be downfield.
Delta 1198, runway 911 Mike 2.
5130 at line of tower, 1809, coming on the right, clear.
9 right, clear line, guys, 5130.
American 629, Atlanta Town, runway 8 right, line up away.
Line up wait, 8 right, American 629.
Delta 1261, kind of departure today.
1261, good day.
American 2596.
That's 3301, give way to FedEx, that hotel.
Delta 1971, Romeo 3, cross runway 9 right, turn left on November behind the company Airbus.
Cross 9 right, join November behind company Airbus, Delta 1971.
Delta 2684 company at November 2 is going to follow you.
Delta 2684, roger.
And then 3514 at Papa Cross going on our left, join Lima, 0.75.
At Papa Cross 9 West, Lima, 0.75, go 3514.
438, traffic 2.5 out, cross going on our right, then turn left on November.
Left side right, left on November, Delta 2438.
Southwest 9012, turn left on November, hold short of Papa.
Left and order, hold short of Papa, Southwest 9012.
Denver 3301, disregard traffic.
Departure, good night.
Good night, man, 4660, headed in.
Coming on our left, join Lima, 0.75.
Run across 9 left on Lima, 0.75, goes right, Delta 2681.
Delta 1971 at Papa Cross going on our left, join Lima, 0.75.
Cross 9 at Papa, join Lima, 0.75, airline 1971.
Delta 2438 at Papa Cross going on our left, join Lima, 0.75.
Left side left to Papa, over 0.75, Delta 2438.
And departure for Delta 1094.
Delta 1094, yes sir, kind of departure today.
Thanks, thanks.
Flight 7557 on Abrani, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff.
For takeoff, 8 right, RNAV, Ronnie, 7557.
Southwest 5614, Atlanta Town, runway 8 right, line up away.
8 right, light up and wait, Southwest 5614. What is it?
Alright. 2338, taxi by Victor Luke.
Taxi to Victor, Delta 2338.
649, kind of departure today.
6699, good day.
I was 1708, runway 8 left for land.
Airline 8 left, Golden 105.
On November, hold short of Papa.
Hey, cross 9 right, Sierra Charlie, left on November, short of Papa, Delta 2429.
48 right, clear for takeoff, Southwest 5614. Delta 503, Atlanta Town, runway 8 right, line up away.
8 right, line away, Delta.
Left on November behind Southwest.
At Romeo 3, cross 9 right. Left on November, Delta.
Delta 1378, taxi by Victor Luke.
Victor Luke, Delta 1378.
That's the approach in. Cross runway 8 left. Give way to 1717 from the left. Taxi runway 8 right.
Okay, clear to cross 8 left at hotel, hold short at 8 right, give way to the 717, FedEx 724.
That's 2338. Give way to FedEx at hotel.
Give way to FedEx at hotel, that's 2238.
FedEx 724. Heavy change in power frequency 15.32.
2532, FedEx 724.
85 heavy power 11708. Runway 8 left for land. Dallas 4690. Exit taxiway Bravo 11. Taxi visible.
Bravo 11, exit, got 4690.
Delta 766 on Airline, runway 8 right, clear for takeoff. 8 right, clear for takeoff on Airline, Delta 766. Delta 1682, Atlanta come, 8 right, line up way.
Delta 1682, line up way, runway right, 8 right. Tower Delta 1705, burn east for
Delta 1705, line of tower 1807, going on the right, clear to land.
clear to land, okay, Delta 1705.
7 or now the wider swimming on with Mike 2 clear for takeoff. So 1198, line of 7, now with Mike 2 on us away. For delay for intro, facing traffic will be downfield.
5130, line of tower 1809, coming on the right.
9 right, clear line,